Cattle producers will no doubt be on the lookout for Texas-sized adventures while here in San Antonio. Reporter Brian Baxter has a closer look at the Buckhorn Saloon and Museum, a must-see attraction while you're here in San Antonio.
All it takes is one look at Texas Bob Reinhardt to realize the Buckhorn Saloon is not your typical watering hole. More than 130 years old, this historic bar and museum is located right in the heart of San Antonio. It was started by a young entrepreneur who had the brilliant idea to accept horns and antlers in exchange for free beer or whiskey from his saloon.
Well, the Buckhorn Saloon was established in 1881 by Albert Frederick. He was a 17-year-old bartender and bellhop at the old Southern Hotel on Main Plaza. In 1881, he decided to open his own saloon across the street, called it the Buckhorn. He was a hunter himself, so he brought some of his own trophies in to decorate with. Then his friends would come in and say, "I've got a bigger rack than that at home." He said, "Bring it in, I'll hang it up." Then he collected trophies for years from big game hunters donated. He'd buy trophies he liked, he'd take them and trade if people owed him money.
We also have a cafe on site that's open for lunch every day from 11 to 3, a wonderful gift shop, and as you can see right behind me, a saloon. And that is the original back bar that was opened in 1881. It's made of cherry wood and marble columns, and that's the original mirror from 1881 as well.
Over the years, San Antonio's most popular saloon has welcomed famous Americans such as Teddy Roosevelt and Will Rogers. They all came to get a look at one of the world's largest and most unique collections of horns, antlers, and animals. The exhibit halls showcase over 520 species of wildlife, many of which are record holders.
Well, one of the icons is right behind me here, Old Tex. At one time, he was the world record longhorn steer. His horns measure 8 feet, 1 1/4 inches from tip to tip. When he was on display in the saloon back at the turn of the last century, every night when Albert closed up shop, he detached the horns and locked them in his safe.
There's a story behind every animal that we have here on display. In fact, we have a gorilla upstairs in the African room, and you'll notice that he has no hair on his chest. Well, in the old days, he was in the front area of the Buckhorn, and people would come by and rub his chest, so all the hair, came off of his chest. And we just have stories like that throughout the entire museum, and it's just something for everybody, I think, all ages.
Also at the Buckhorn is the Texas Ranger Museum, which houses hundreds of Ranger artifacts, including weapons, badges, photographs, and more.
They were the first law enforcement organization in Texas, started in 1823. At that time, I think there were 8 or 10 Rangers initially to protect the settlers, and now there are maybe 125 or so. They're kind of like the FBI of Texas, if you will. They have jurisdiction in any county. They help local law enforcement solve the bigger cases. The collection we have on display in the Ranger Museum belongs to the former Texas Rangers Association, and we augmented that by building a kind of a recreation of old San Antonio inside. We have a blacksmith shop. We have the original Buckhorn Saloon in there from 1881. We've got a dentist office, a barber shop, a jailhouse, and a reproduction of Bonnie and Clyde's car because the Texas Rangers brought down Bonnie and Clyde in Louisiana.
The Buckhorn Saloon and Museum has always been known as a gathering place for good conversation, food, drink, and spectacular wildlife, something members of the cattle industry are sure to appreciate.
Please come and visit. We have horns from all over the world, antlers, all sorts of critters, and it's going to be right up your alley. All of the staff here we're just like a big family, and everybody has a big personality, and it's a just really fun place to work, a fun place to visit. So we are a historic Texas treasure and a real sight to see if you're visiting San Antonio.
Reporting from San Antonio, Texas, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.